Happen Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Hello students, how are you? I'm excited. Are you? I'm not getting reaction from you, but I hope you are excited. Because after so many days we are meeting virtually through television media. I'm very much thankful to Prudent Media for this telecast, educational telecast. This is Subhash Zand from Amia Higher Secondary School, Kuruti Ponda, teaching you the subject accountancy for 12th standard, because you are appearing for the Goa board examination. 12th standard, first topic we have accounting for partnership, basic concepts. Now partnership is not something which is very new to you. You had one topic in business studies last year in 11th, that was sole trading concern. Along with that you had something about partnership also, and you did something for the partnership, at least the theory part. If I ask you the question, what is partnership, your answers will be ready. But this year, we are not much into the definitions of partnership or what is partnership or what are the types of partners, but we have to look at the accounting part of it, accounting aspect of it. So in this topic, which is around 7 marks to you for the board examination, we are talking about various things. First is, some concepts will be made clear to you. Then we have all calculations. We have preparation of profit and loss appropriation account, which is something which is new to you. We have the provisions of Partnership Act, some provisions which are related to the accounting. Then we have calculation of interest on capital. We have calculation of interest on drawings, how to calculate it. And then overall looking at the partnership. I'll be dividing this topic into 4 parts of 15 minutes each. In the first part of 15 minutes, it's not a division. You will get the video as a whole for 1 hour. But for me, I'll be dealing with the first 15 minutes in explaining you the concepts. Next 15 minutes in telling you the provisions of the Partnership Act 1932. Then I'll tell you how to calculate, that is through my PPT, how to calculate interest on capital, how to calculate interest on drawings, and then slowly at the end we will see the methods of maintaining capital accounts. Welcome you once again. When you see the partnership, you all have already prepared the final accounts of sole proprietary concern. And as you know, as business expands, one needs more capital and larger number of people to manage the business and share its risk. In such a situation, people usually adopt the partnership form of organization. Accounting for a partnership has its own peculiarities, as the partnership firm comes into existence when 2 or more persons come together to establish business and share its profits. On many issues affecting distribution of profit, there may not be any specific agreement for between the partners. In such a situation, the provisions of the Indian Partnership Act 1932 applies. Similarly, the calculation of interest on capital, interest on drawings, and maintenance of partners' capital accounts have their adjustments on the death of partner or when new partner is admitted, and so on. These peculiar situations need specific treatment in accounting that needs to be clarified. This chapter discusses some basic aspects of partnership, such as distribution of profit. Then you have maintenance of capital accounts, the treatment of situations like admission of partner, retirement, death and dissolution, which is later. Now when we discuss nature of partnership, when 2 or more people or when 2 or more persons join hands to set up a business and share its profits and losses, they are said to be in the partnership. Under Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, which defines partnership as relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all, or any of them acting for all. This definition you know very well in standard 11th. Persons who have entered into partnership with one another are individually called partners and collectively called firm, F-I-R-M, firm. The name under which the business is carried is called the firm's name. A partnership firm has no separate legal entity apart from the partners constituting it. Thus, there are various essential features which I'll be explaining now. They are as follows. One which is very essential feature is 2 or more person. Without having 2 person, you cannot have partnership. Then you need to have an agreement. Throwing some more light on the agreement, partnership is the result of an agreement between 2 or more people to do business and share the profits and losses. The agreement becomes the basis of relationship between the partners. It is not necessary that such agreement is in written form. An oral agreement is equally valid. But in order to avoid disputes, it is preferred that the partner have a written agreement. Third very essential feature is you need to have a business. So business. The agreement should be to carry on some business. Mere co-ownership of property does not amount to any partnership. For example, if let's say Rohit and Sachin jointly purchase a plot of land, they become the joint owners of the property and not the partners. But if they are in the business of purchase and sale of property or sale of land for purpose of making profit, they will be called partners. I think this is very clear to you. Then fourth essential feature of the partnership is mutual agency. The business of a partnership concern may be carried on by all the partners or any one of them acting for all. This statement has 2 important implications. First, every partner is entitled to participate in the conduct of the affairs of this business. Second, that there exists a relationship of mutual agency between all the partners. Each partner carrying on the business is the principal as well as the agent for all other partners. He can bind other partners by his acts and also is bound by the acts of other partners with regard to business of the firm. Relationship of mutual agency is so important that one can say that there would be no partnership if the element of mutual agency is absent. Now the fourth essential feature of the partnership is sharing of profit. Now you people are always under impression partnership is equal 50-50. It is not always equal. The ratio can differ. It might depend on the capital contribution or it might depend on some other factors. So look at this feature, which is sharing of profit. The agreement between partners must be to share profits and losses of a business. Though the definition contained in the Partnership Act describes partnership as relation between people who have agreed to share the profits of business, the sharing of loss is also implied. Please remember, it is not just sharing profit, it is sharing of loss even. The sharing of profits and losses is important. If some person join hands for the purchase of for the purpose of some charitable activity, it will not be termed as partnership. Please make it very clear. The sixth and the last feature of partnership is liability of partners. Each partner is liable jointly with all other partners and also severally to the third party for all the acts of the firm done while he is a partner. Not only that, the liability of a partner for acts of the firm is also unlimited. This implies that this private asset can also be used for paying off the firm's debt. Tomorrow what will happen, like if you are in a partnership, you have taken some loan for the partnership and your business went into losses, then you cannot escape from the bank's clutches. The bank will come to you and will catch hold of you and will take the personal property. That is this. Okay, it's a liability of partners. Next very important thing or the concept or the term that we need to understand is partnership deed. Partnership comes into existence as a result of agreement among the partners. The agreement can be either oral or written. The Partnership Act does not require that the agreement must be in writing. But wherever it is in writing, the document which contains terms of agreement is called partnership deed. It generally contains the details about all the aspects affecting the relationship between the partners, including the objectives of business, contribution of capital by each partner, an entitlement of the partners like to interest on capital, interest on loan, etc. We'll quickly go through the contents of partnership deed. I'm explaining to you the partnership deed. Now remember one thing, the deed should be properly drafted and prepared as per the provisions of the Stamp Act. Please remember, it is drafted under Stamp Act, it is not drafted under Indian Partnership Act. Now what are these contents of partnership deed? I'll just explain to you the contents. First and foremost, what you should have: name and address of the firm and its main business. Then you need to have name and addresses of all the partners. Then you need to have amount of capital to be contributed by each partner. Then the accounting period of the firm. Then the date of commencement of partnership. You all should mention it right in the partnership deed. Then rules regarding operation of bank account. Who will operate the bank account? Whether it is severally, jointly, individually, whatever it is, you have to mention it in the deed. Then the rate of interest on capital, if it is, then the rate of interest on loan, rate of interest on drawings, etc. You have to mention it in the partnership deed. Then if you are appointing any auditor, then how to appoint it, that mode you have to write in the partnership deed. Then about the salary, commission or any other thing which is payable to partner, you have to clearly mention in the partnership deed. Then the rights of the partners, the duties of the partners, the liabilities of each partner, you have to have mentioned in the deed. Then how to treat the losses arising out of insolvency of one or more partners, that also you have to mention it in the deed. So various things which you need to maintain which you need to mention in the deed, that is called as contents of partnership deed. I'll remind you once again, partnership deed is formed under Stamp Act, not under the Partnership Act. Then regarding the provisions which are relevant for accounting, I have told you in the beginning, we are not much into the theory, but we have to, because we are accountancy students, we have to into the accounting part of the partnership. So you have the act, which is Indian Partnership Act 1932. In that there are some provisions in the act. Okay, what are those provisions? And in absence of deed, whether those provisions are applicable to us? If yes, then what is that provision that we will study under this subtopic, provisions of Partnership Act relevant for accounting. The first provision which I am looking for is provision regarding profit sharing ratio. Please remember, if nothing is mentioned in the partnership deed, the profits and losses will be shared equally amongst the partners. So simple. If there are 3 partners in a firm ABC, if the profit is let's say 300 rupees, rupees 100 will go to A, rupees 100 will go to B, and rupees 100 will go to C. That is equal sharing ratio. If there are only 2 partners, if you have 300 rupees profit, it will be shared equally. 150 will go to A, 150 will go to B. What this provision says, I'll read out. If the partnership deed is silent about the profit sharing ratio, see here, if the partnership deed is silent about the profit sharing ratio, the profits and losses of the firm are to be shared equally by partners, irrespective of their capital contribution in the firm. Please remember, it is not in the ratio of capital. The capital may be different. A and B are partners. A must have contributed 2 lakhs, B must have contributed to 1 lakh. Okay, but you can share the profits and losses equally. It is not necessarily in the ratio of 2:1, or it is to be shared in the ratio which is mentioned in the partnership deed. This is about profit sharing ratio. Then interest on capital. What is interest on capital? You know capital very well. You already have prepared the final accounts of sole trading concern. Capital is the money or the asset which is put in the business to start a particular business. I'm just giving a simple example. I'm having some extra money with me. I have 2 options. One, I can invest in my business to start my business, or I can put it in my own bank account. If I'm putting it in FD or if I'm putting it just in saving bank account, then I'm getting some interest from the bank. Am I right or wrong? If I'm investing my money into the bank is supposed to pay me some interest at whatever rate applicable. Now, same money which I'm having, I'm putting it in my business. Can I expect some interest from my business to me? Yes, sure. And that is interest on capital. It's the interest which I'm getting from my business. So for me, it's an income. For business, it will be an expense, which is debited to profit and loss appropriation account. We will see later. So this is how I think the concept of interest on capital, or what is interest on capital, is very clear to you. The interest which is paid to me as a partner from the business on my capital, that is interest. So what is this interest on capital, and what the provision says? No partner is entitled to claim any interest on the amount of capital contributed by him in the firm as a matter of right. However, interest can be allowed when it is expressly agreed to by the partner. Thus, no interest on capital is payable if the partnership deed is silent on the issue. We are discussing provisions for Partnership Act relevant for accounting. We have discussed profit sharing ratio, then we have discussed interest on capital. Now we'll go to interest on drawings. You know, the drawings is the amount which is withdrawn by the partners, goods or amount which is withdrawn by the partners. So you have to charge the drawings if the partnership deed is very clear on interest on drawings. Now what it says? It says no interest is to be charged on the drawings made by the partner if there is no mention in the deed. This is clearly stated. Now go to interest on loan. Now if any partner has advanced some loan to the firm for the purpose of business, he or she shall be entitled to get an interest at the rate of 6% per annum. Remember, if there is no mention in the deed about the interest on loan, you have to pay the interest at the rate of 6% per annum. Remuneration for firm's work. Next provision is regarding remuneration for firm's work. Remuneration is a salary. Here it says no partner is entitled to get any salary or other remuneration for taking part in the conduct of the business of the firm unless there is a provision for the same in the partnership deed. If there is no provision for the payment of salary, if there is no provision for the payment of remuneration, you are not supposed to pay any salary or any remuneration to the partner. Apart from the above what we stated, the Indian Partnership Act also specifies that subject to the contract between the partners, if partner derives any profit for him or herself from any transaction of the firm or from the use of the property or business connection of the firm or the firm name, she shall account for the profit and pay it for the firm. He cannot do anything in private. If it is proved that he is doing it by taking the advantage of the firm, then he is supposed to account for it. And second, it says if a partner carries on any business of the same nature as and competing with that firm, he or she shall account for and pay to the firm all profits made by him or her in that business. This is what is stated here as far as the provisions of the Partnership Acts are concerned. Now, when we look at the special aspects of partnership accounts, we need to take care of some certain things there as follows. We have to have the decision regarding maintenance of partners' capital account, whether they are maintained under fixed capital method or fluctuating capital method. You need to look at the distribution of profit and loss amongst the partners. Then you need to adjust for wrong appropriation of profits in the past. Then you need to, sometimes it is possible, you have to do it, reconstitution of the partnership firm and dissolution of the firm. That separate topic we have, that is reconstitution of the firm, and the last topic is dissolution. Here we are not dealing with that. Coming back to the maintenance of capital accounts of partners. Students, if you remember last year, you have prepared your balance sheet, right? That is sole trading concern. In that balance sheet, on the liability side, the first entry or the first you are mentioning the capital. Okay, for example, A is a partner, A is a proprietor who's having a capital of rupees 10,000, then used to put capital rupees 10,000, then used to put some profit if it is, add profit. If there is interest on capital, used to add interest on capital, then less drawings, then less interest on drawings, etc. And then the outer figure, whatever balance you are getting, you are putting it in the outer column. Whatever you did last year was under fluctuating capital method. Which method you were maintaining, under which method you were doing it? It was under fluctuating capital method. That means the original balance was something different and the last balance you are getting something different. All additions, deletions, all adjustments were made to that account. So I am just telling you the new method this year, that is something called as fixed capital method. Whatever you were doing in 11th standard was fluctuating capital method. Now we'll see the difference between fixed capital method, what is fixed capital method and what is fluctuating capital method, and what is the difference between both these methods. So all transactions relating to partners of the firm are recorded in the books of the firm through their capital accounts, which includes the amount of money brought in as capital, withdrawal of capital, share of profit, interest on capital, interest in drawings, partner's salary, commission to partner, etc. You know this. Now there are two methods by which the capital accounts of partners can be maintained. They are one, fixed capital method, I have just told you, and two, fluctuating capital method. The difference between the two lies in whether or not the transactions other than addition or withdrawal of capital are recorded in the capital accounts of the partners. First we will see what is this fixed capital method. I have already told you the fluctuating capital method, which we used to do it in standard 11th. Now what is this fixed capital method? Under this fixed capital method, the capitals of the partners shall remain fixed unless additional capital is introduced or a part of the capital is withdrawn as per the agreement among the partners. Now all items like share of profit or loss, interest on capital, drawings, interest on drawings, etc. are recorded in a separate account called partners current account. Don't get confused with bank current account. This is partners current account. The partners capital accounts will always show a credit balance which shall remain the same, fixed year after year, unless there is an addition or withdrawal to capital. The partner's current account, on the other hand, may show a debit or credit balance, because we all make some additions, deletions, all adjustments are made to the current account. Thus, under this method, two accounts are maintained. One is capital account and one is current account. While the partner's capital account shall always appear on the liability side of the balance sheet because it shows the credit balance, liability side is the credit side, and the partner's current account balance shall be shown on the liability side if they have credit balance, and on the asset side if they show a debit balance. So if they show a debit balance, it will appear on the asset side. If they show, I'm talking about current account of the partner, if they show a credit balance, it will appear on the liability side. I'll show you partner's capital account. Just open the partner's capital account under fixed capital method, by balance brought down, see the credit side, that's an opening balance. If you have introduced any fresh capital, it will come by bank again, fresh capital introduced, the balance. If there is any withdrawal in capital, you will withdraw it to bank, the debit side to bank, the entry is to bank for the withdrawal of capital, and then the balance carried down to balance sheet, that will be a closing balance. This is how capital account appears in. Now all adjustments regarding interest on capital, interest on drawings, then all other appropriations will go to the partner's current account. If you have a balance which is given to you, which is a credit balance, it will appear on the credit side, balance brought down. If you have original balance which is debit balance, it will appear on the debit side, to balance brought down. Then whatever is paid to partner, salary, commission, all those credit entries will come, interest on capital. And then finally, if you have a profit, it will be appropriated, it will be given to them in the share of profit or in the profit and loss profit sharing ratio, that is by profit and loss appropriation account. And see the debit side, you have to put all the entries to drawings, whatever you have. If there is drawing, then interest on drawing, and finally the profit and loss which is transferred to their accounts. We'll go to the next method of maintaining capital account, that is fluctuating capital method. Now under this fluctuating capital method, only one account, that is capital account, is maintained for each partner. All the adjustments such as share of profit and loss, interest on capital, drawings, interest on drawings, salary or commission to partners, etc. are recorded directly in the capital accounts of the partners. This makes the balance in the capital account to fluctuate from time to time, change from time to time. That is the reason why this method is called as fluctuating capital method. Now in the absence of any instruction, the capital account should be prepared by this method. Last year, again the reference of your final accounts of sole trading concern, there was no mention about which method is to be followed. So you have followed the fluctuating capital method in standard 11 while preparing the capital accounts of the sole proprietor. We'll look at the pro forma of capital account prepared under fluctuating capital method. As you know, all the entries such as salary paid to partner, interest on capital, drawings, interest on drawings will reflect in partner's capital account, because we are maintaining only one account, that is capital account, under this method. As you know, see the credit side, by balance brought down in case of you have credit opening balance, and if there is any fresh capital by bank, there is salary paid to partner, interest on capital, etc. And then by profit and loss appropriation account for share of profit. Go to the debit side, to balance brought down in case of debit balance, opening debit balance. Then you have drawings, then interest on drawings, and then finally to profit and loss account for share of loss if there is, and then to balance carried down in case of credit closing balance. This is how we are preparing the capital account under fluctuating capital method. All the entries are reflecting in partner's capital account. I have told you already what is fixed capital method and what is fluctuating capital method. Now look at the distinction between fixed and the fluctuating capital accounts. The main points of difference between the fixed and fluctuating capital methods we can look like this. If you look at the point of distinction like number of accounts, you all know. Now under fixed capital method, we have two separate accounts. Which are those? One is capital account and one is current account. Now under fluctuating capital method, same point, number of accounts. We have only one account, that is capital account of the partner. Now which are the items which are related to deed, how it appears in fixed capital method and how it appears in the fluctuating capital methods. Now under fixed capital method, items like drawing, salary, interest on capital, etc. are posted in the current account and not in the capital account. Now if you look at the fluctuating capital method, same point, all adjustments like drawings, salary, interest on capital, etc. are posted in the capital accounts. As far the balance is concerned, look at this point of difference. Fixed balance, the capital account balance remains unchanged unless there is addition or withdrawal of capital. The capital account balance remains unchanged unless there is addition or withdrawal of capital. Why? Because all other adjustments will reflect in another account, that is current account. Am I right? So only if the capital is introduced, only if the capital is withdrawn, your capital account balance will change. But under fluctuating capital method, the balance will change every year. It fluctuates every year because all adjustments, interest on capital, interest on drawings, etc. are made to the capital account. And last point of difference is about credit balance. The capital account always show a credit balance under fixed capital method, and under fluctuating capital method it may show a debit or a credit balance. This is the difference or the distinction between fixed capital method and the fluctuating capital method. After understanding the difference between fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method, we will take up one small problem under which we will try to prepare a capital account under fixed capital method as well as capital accounts under fluctuating capital method, and I'll show the difference. Here is the problem. Sameer and Yasmin are partners with capital of rupees 15 lakhs and rupees 10 lakhs respectively. They agreed to share the profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. Show how the following transactions will be recorded. I'll give you some transactions will be recorded in the capital accounts of partners in case if the capitals are fixed and in case if the capitals are fluctuating. The books are closed on March 31st every year. We have a detailed problem here. Particulars, you have column for Sameer and you have column for Yasmin. See the screen. You know that original capital is rupees 15 lakhs and 10 lakhs. They have put some additional capital contribution. Sameer 3 lakhs and Yasmin 2 lakhs, which was introduced in October 2019. Then they have interest on capital at 5% per annum. Both of them, they are getting 5%. The amount withdrawn, that is drawings during 1920, Sameer withdrawn 30,000, Yasmin withdrawn 20,000. Then there is interest on drawings. Sameer is 1,800, Yasmin is 1,200. There is salary of rupees 20,000 paid to Sameer. Yasmin is not getting any salary. Commission rupees 10,000, rupees 7,000. And they have already prepared their profit and loss appropriation account and they have their share in profit for the year 2019-20. The share of profit is 60,000 Sameer and 40,000 Yasmin. Now see, under fixed capital method, what we do, we maintain capital account as well as current account, right? In the capital account, what entries will reflect their capital balance, and if there is addition to the capital or withdrawal to the capital, only those entries will reflect in the capital account. And the adjustments like interest on capital, salary, commission, everything will get reflected in their current account. So I'll show you the solution how the capital account reflects under fixed capital method. Okay, look at this capital account. It's partners capital account. Look at the credit side. By balance brought down, Sameer 15 lakhs, Yasmin 10 lakhs, and there is some additional capital which is brought in. You know that it is introduced in the month of October. So by bank, in bracket, additional capital rupees 3 lakhs by Sameer and rupees 2 lakhs by Yasmin. So 10 plus 2, you see the total of Yasmin, 10 plus 2, 12. Sameer is 15 plus 3, 18 lakhs, and the same balance to balance carried down to balance sheet rupees 18 lakhs and 12 lakhs. So try to understand here, we are preparing capital account under fixed capital method. So their capital remains fixed. Only these changes will come. Which are those? One is if they introduce capital, that will be added, and if they withdraw, that will be reduced. So here there is no withdrawal of capital. Here there is additional capital 3 lakhs and 2 lakhs. So their closing capital balance is 18 lakhs and 12 lakhs. Now look at this partner's current account. See that on the credit side, by interest on capital, this is columnar form, Sameer and Yasmin 82,500. Do you know how this calculation of interest on capital 82,500 and 55,000? Try to understand this calculation. Look at this screen. 5% on 15 lakhs for 1 year, that was introduced in the beginning of the year, 15 lakhs. 5%, it comes to 75,000. Then as far as Sameer is concerned, he has introduced 3 lakhs in the middle of the month, in the middle of the year, that was in October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months. So not it is 5%, it comes to 3 lakhs multiplied by 5 upon 100 multiplied by 6 upon 12, 6 months, that is half, 7,500. So Sameer's interest on capital becomes 82,500. Then what about Yasmin? 10 lakhs is his initial contribution, 10 lakhs into 5%, it comes to 50,000. Then at the middle of the year, that is in October, he introduced some 2 lakhs rupees. So 2 lakhs into 5% for 6 months, it comes to rupees 5,000. So 50 plus 5, 55. So his interest on capital becomes 55,000. Try to understand this calculation. So by interest on capital, Sameer 82,500, Yasmin 55,000. Then salary, Sameer's 20,000, Yasmin 7,000. That is commission. Commission only salary is only 10,000. Commission is 10,000 and 7,000 is just wrote on the top, it should come below 10,000 and 7,000 commission. Okay, then there is profit and loss appropriation account, that is profit which is transferred here, 60,000 and 40,000. Then on the debit side, you know what are the entries which comes on the debit side? Drawings and the interest on drawings. So two drawings, Samir is having 30,000, Yasmin is having 20,000, which is there in the problem. Then you have interest on drawing calculated readily available to you, 1,800 for Samir and 1,200 for Yasmin. So you have balance carried down, 1,40,700 for Samir and Yasmin 80,800. It is printed wrongly on the book twice. So it is balance carried down 1,40,700 and Yasmin is 80,800. The total is 1,72,500 and 1,02,000. Okay, this is how the current account appears when you prepare the capital account under fixed capital method. Fixed capital method, capital will not change, only it will change only if there is addition or deletion, and all the entries like interest on capital, commission will reflect in partner's current account. Now same problem, see how it reflects under fluctuating capital method. So simple, under fluctuating capital method we are not preparing current account, there is no need. We have to prepare only the capital account, that is partner's capital account. Look at this, balance carried down 15 lakhs, 10 lakhs, that was their original capital. Then there is additional capital by bank, rupees 3 lakhs and 2 lakhs. Then all those entries which were reflecting above in the current account will now reflect in the capital account, because we have fluctuating capital method by interest on capital, 82,500 and 55,000, salary 20,000, then commission 10,000 and 7,000. Then there is profit and loss appropriation account, the profit 60,000, 40,000. So total comes to 13 lakhs 2,000, and here it comes to 19 lakhs 72,500. On the debit side, two drawings 30,000, 20,000. Then there is interest on drawings 1,800, 1,200. Then there is closing balance, that is balance carried down to balance sheet down, 19 lakhs 40,700 for Samir, and Yasmin balances 12 lakhs 80,800. The total is 19 lakhs 72,500 for Samir and 13 lakhs 2,000 for Yasmin. This is how the capital accounts will appear under fixed capital method and fluctuating capital method. Now I'll tell you what is profit and loss appropriation account. We have discussed in the beginning of this lecture what is that profit and loss appropriation account. This is something which is new to you. Try to understand, then I'll show you the pro forma of profit and loss appropriation account also. Profit and loss appropriation account is an extension of the profit and loss account. It shows how the profits are appropriated or distributed amongst the partners. All adjustments in respect of partner's salary, partner's commission, interest on capital, interest on drawings, etc. are made through this account. Which account I am talking about? Profit and loss appropriation account. It starts with the net profit or net loss as per the profit and loss account. See, when we prepare profit and loss account, what we do? It starts with the gross profit or gross loss, because already trading account is prepared, we transfer it. In the same manner, when we start with the profit and loss appropriation account, it starts with the net profit or net loss, which we are taking from the profit and loss account. The journal entries for preparation, I am not looking into the journal entries for preparation of profit and loss account, profit and loss appropriation account. I will straight away show you the pro forma of profit and loss appropriation account. Look at this pro forma, profit and loss appropriation account. It starts with profit. By profit and loss account, if there is profit, then if there is loss, it will be to profit and loss account. Then all the entries on the debit side, you see interest on capital, salary to partner, commission to partner, whatever amount is paid to them, it will come here. And if there is interest in drawings, will not come here. Drawings will reflect in their capital account or current account. Only interest in drawings comes here. Okay, interest in drawings, and then finally the profit or loss will go to their current account or their capital account. When it will go to capital account? When the capital accounts are fluctuating, it will go to capital account. When the capital accounts are fixed, it will go to the current account. So by partners, capital slash current account, you have to write distribution of loss, distribute it. If the ratio is equal, it will go equally. If the ratio is in different ratio, it will go according to the ratio. This is how the pro forma of profit and loss appropriation account looks like. Can we take a simple problem on the profit and loss appropriation account? Are you ready? Yes. The problem will appear on the screen and I'll read it. Look at the screen. You can even copy it or take a photo of it and then solve it. Amit, Babu and Charu are in a partnership from 1st of April 2019. They contributed rupees 50,000, rupees 40,000 and 30,000 respectively as their capitals and agreed to share profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1. Amit is to be paid a salary of rupees 1,000 per month and Babu a commission of rupees 5,000. It also provided that interest to be allowed on capital at 6% per annum. The drawings for the year: Amit rupees 6,000, Babu rupees 4,000, Charu rupees 2,000. Interest and drawing, it's ready made here, no need to calculate. Interest and drawing rupees 270 were charged on Amit's drawing, rupees 180 on Babu's drawings and rupees 90 on Charu's drawings. The net profit as per the profit and loss account for the year ending March 31st, 2020 was rupees 35,660. Prepare the profit and loss appropriation account and show the distribution of profit among the partners. So what they have asked is to prepare profit and loss appropriation account. So see the solution. It starts with the net profit. In that problem, the net profit is given to you. The profit is 35,660 by net profit, or even you can say by profit and loss account. Net profit brought down 35,660. Then solve the problem accordingly. After the profit, what is given to you? Amit is to be paid a salary of rupees 1,000 per month. So Amit's salary, to Amit's salary, 1,000 per month, 1,000 into 12, 12,000. Then Babu is to be paid a commission. What is it, commission? Commission is rupees 5,000. So Babu's commission is rupees 5,000. Then interest on capital. Interest on capital, very simple, it's 6%. Amit's capital was 50,000. So 50 into 6%, 6 5s are 30, 3,000. Babu's capital was 40,000. 6% interest, 6 4s are 24, 2,400. And Charu's capital was 30,000, 6 3s are 18, 1,800. Put it in the inner column to interest on capital. Amit 3,000, Babu 2,400, Charu 1,800. It comes to 7,200. Then we have taken net profit 35,660. Then there is Amit's salary 12,000, Babu's commission 5,000, interest on capital. There is interest on drawing. So come to the credit side and take interest on drawing. The figure is given to you. No need to calculate the interest. It is given. Amit by interest on drawing. Amit inner column 270, Babu it is 180 and Charu it is 90. So it comes to rupees 540. Okay, which side is heavy? Credit side is heavy. 35,660 plus 540, 6 plus 4 10, 7 plus 5 12. Okay, 36,200 is the credit side. Take the same total and then find out the balancing figure, that will be your profit. So here nothing is mentioned about which capital method they maintain their account. So if nothing is mentioned, they are maintaining it under fluctuating capital method. So the profit will go to their capital accounts. 2 share of profit transferred to the capital accounts. What is the ratio which is given here? It is 3:2:1. So 3/6, 2/6 and 1/6. Out of 12,000, Amil will get 6,000, Amit will get 6,000, Babu will get 4,000 and Charu rupees 2,000. This is how the profit and loss appropriation account is prepared. Simple problem which is given to you to show how the profit and loss appropriation account is prepared. Okay, take problem number 2 on profit and loss appropriation account. Very interesting problem. Look at the screen. Yadu, Madhu and Vidu are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 2:2:1. Their fixed capital as on 1st April 2019 were Yadu 5 lakhs, Madhu rupees 4 lakhs and Vidu rupees 3,50,000. As per the partnership deed, partners are entitled to interest on capital at 5% per annum, and Yadu has to be paid a salary of rupees 2,000 per month, while Vidu would be receiving a commission of rupees 18,000. Net loss of the firm as per profit and loss account for the year ending March 31st, 2019 amounted to rupees 75,000 net loss. On the basis of above information, prepare profit and loss appropriation account for the year ending March 31st, 2019. Look at this solution, quite interesting, because the entries such as payment of interest on capital, or you can say Yadu's salary and everything will not reflect here, because there is loss incurred. If there is loss, you are not supposed to charge any interest, you are not supposed to pay any salary, you have to just distribute the losses to the partners. So no entries are reflecting here. See the profit and loss appropriation account. To profit and loss appropriation account, you have 75,000, that is net loss. Then straight away distribute that net loss by partner's current account. Here it's a fixed capital method, so it will go to current account. Yadu 30,000, Madhu 30,000 and Vidu 15,000. It is distributed, the ratio is given to you, it is distributed in the ratio of 2:1. Okay, 75,000 is the total. We'll go to problem number 3. Very interesting, right? What we are doing, we are solving some problems in profit and loss appropriation account. You are looking at the channel called Prudent Media, am I right? So you can even sit with the camera and take the screenshots or take the photos of the screen so that you can solve it later. This is the problem. Problem number 3 on profit and loss appropriation account appears on the screen. This is for you. Amitabh and Babul are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2 with capitals of rupees 50,000, rupees 30,000 respectively. Interest on capital is agreed at 6% per annum. Babul is to be allowed annual salary of rupees 2,500. Manager is to be allowed a commission of rupees 5,000. Amitabh has also given a loan on April 1st, 2019 of rupees 50,000 to the firm without any agreement. During the year 2019-20, the profits earned were rupees 22,250. Prepare a profit and loss appropriation account showing the distribution of profits and the partner's capital account for the year ending March 31st, 2020. Very interesting problem. Here is your profit and loss appropriation account. By profit and loss account, the figure is 14,250. And what was the figure which is given to you in the problem? It was 22,250. So what we are supposed to do? From that figure, we are supposed to deduct the interest on loan as well as the manager's commission. So 22,250 minus 5,000 is manager's commission. Okay, minus your loan was 50,000 and on that 6%. So 6 5s are 33,000. So 5 plus 3, 8,000 we need to deduct. 22,250 minus 8,000, it comes to 14,250. So after deducting commission and after deducting interest on loan, we have to take that profit. By profit and loss account, net profit before Babul's salary, definitely it is 14,250. Is this clear to you? Then go to the debit side. Now all that appropriation will come in this. Babul's salary, to Babul's salary 2,500. Then you have interest on capital, Amitabh 3,000. See the calculations, 3,000. What is your capital? Capital is rupees 50,000. 50,000, 6% is the interest. 6 5s are 30. And then Babul's interest on capital. What is his capital? His capital is 30,000. So 6 3s are 18, 1,800. He is interest on capital. To interest on capital, Amitabh 3,000, Babul 1,800 over, isn't it? So take the total. Credit side is heavy, 14,250. Make the same total here, 14,250. Then the profit is transferred to partner's capital account. In which ratio? The ratio is also given to you. The ratio is 3:2. So 3/5 and 2/5. Amitabh will get 4,170 and Babul is getting 2,780. Total profit is 6,950. This is what is your profit and loss appropriation account, the solution profit and loss appropriation account. Now we need to prepare both Amitabh's capital account as well as Babul's capital account. Look at this Amitabh's capital account first. Credit side, by balance brought down 50,000, by interest on capital 3,000. Then we have just distributed the profit by profit and loss appropriation account, that is share of profit. Whose capital account it is? Amitabh's capital account, 4,170. There are no drawings, so then there are even no interest in drawings. So we have the credit side total 57,170. The same total is the balance. To balance carried down to balance sheet 57,170. Then look at this Babul's capital account. By balance brought down 30,000 is his capital. By salary which is paid to him 2,500. By interest on capital 1,800. Then the profit which he got is 2,780. Interest on capital 1,800. Profit is profit and loss appropriation account 2,780. No entries on the debit side, so the total is 37,080. The same balance will come as to balance carried down to balance sheet 37,080. So this is Babul's capital account. So after preparing profit and loss appropriation account, there is one thing which you need to understand when that profit is given. In this problem, the profit was given to you before manager's commission. So manager's commission to be deducted, if I am not mistaken, it was 5,000. Loan was given by partner, 50,000 loan at 6% interest. So 6 5s are 30, 5 3 18. So 22,250 minus 5 plus 3 8. And we need to deduct it and then take the profit to profit and loss appropriation account. So because of that, it was 14,250. Now we need to throw some more light on interest on capital and interest on drawings. I'll just show you one problem which tells us there are different situations, and in those situations how the interest is calculated. Look at the screen. This is your problem. Anupam and Abhishek are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. Their capital account showed a balance of rupees 1,50,000 and rupees 2 lakhs respectively on January 1st, 2017. Show the calculation of interest on capital for the year ending December 31st, 2017 in each of the following alternatives. The first alternative which they have given, if the partnership deed is silent as to the payment of interest on capital and the profit for the year is rupees 50,000. Then the second alternative what they have given to us is if partnership deed provides for interest on capital at 8% per annum and the firm incurred a loss of rupees 10,000 during the year. So the solution for the first option, see, in absence of any specific provision in the deed, no interest will be paid on the capital of the partners. Am I right? The whole amount of profit will however be distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. Now the situation B, see what that situation B is, if partnership deed provides for interest on capital at 8% per annum and the firm incurred a loss of rupees 10,000 during the year. See, look at that situation B. As the firm has incurred losses during the accounting year, no interest on capital will be allowed to any partner. The firm's loss will however be shared by the partners in their profit sharing ratio, isn't it? This is how. In the third situation, if partnership deed provides for interest on capital at 8% per annum and the firm has earned a profit of rupees 50,000 during the year. See, look at that situation C. Interest to Anupam, it will be 8% on rupees 1,50,000, it comes to 12,000, and interest to Abhishek, it will be 8% on rupees 2 lakhs, 8 2s are 16, it comes to 16,000. So 28,000 is the interest. Now as the profit is sufficient to pay the interest at an agreed rate, the whole amount of interest on capital shall be allowed and the remaining profit amounting to rupees 22,000, that is what, 50,000 minus 28,000 shall be shared by the partners in their profit sharing ratio. Now at the end of this lecture, I am having another 4 minutes to go. Interest on drawings. This is very interesting. The partnership agreement may also provide for charging of interest on money withdrawal out of the firm by the partners for their personal use. Now as we know, no interest is charged on the drawings if there is no mention in the agreement amongst the partners about it. Am I right? However, if the partnership deed provides for it, the interest is charged at an agreed rate. This I hope you know very well. Charging interest on drawing discourages excessive amounts. Why it is charged? It discourages the excessive amounts of drawings by the partners. The calculation of interest, how it is to be calculated under different situations, now we'll see. When a fixed amount is withdrawn every month, what is to be done? How to calculate the interest? What happens many a time a fixed amount of money is withdrawn by the partners at equal time interval, say each month or each quarter. While calculating the time period, the attention must be paid to whether the fixed amount was withdrawn at the beginning, that is first day of the month, whether it is at the middle of the month or at the end of the month, that is last day of the month. If withdrawn on the first day of every month, interest on total amount will be calculated for 6.5 months. It will be calculated for 6.5 months. If it is withdrawn during the middle of the month, it will be calculated for 6 months. I am reading it again. If withdrawn during the middle of the month, it will be calculated for 6 months. And if it is withdrawn at the end of every month, it will be calculated for 5.5 months. If it is at the end of the month, it will be calculated for 5.5 months. This is to be taken care of, and accordingly you people have to do it. It was a fantastic time for me today, a 1-hour session on accountancy, that is basics of partnership. In that basics of partnership, we did in fact everything. We have started from what is partnership, then I have explained to you what is partnership deed, what are the contents of partnership deed. Then we try to understand the methods of maintaining capital account, that was fixed capital method and the fluctuating capital method. Then after telling you that, I told you the distinction, the difference between fixed capital method and the fluctuating capital method. Then we took some problems on the fixed and the fluctuating capital methods, how capital accounts appear under fixed capital method, how capital account appears under fluctuating capital method. Then the very important aspect for you is preparation of profit and loss appropriation account. I told you and showed you even the pro forma profit and loss appropriation account, how the entries reflects. Then we took 1 or 2 problems on solving of profit and loss appropriation account. And finally, I told you something regarding interest on capital, what is to be done while calculating interest on capital. And the end part of our session was calculation of interest on drawings. If it is withdrawn on the first day, if it is withdrawn at the middle of the month, if it is withdrawn at the end of the month. I hope you all must have enjoyed. Thank you Prudent Media, and thank you one and all.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.